Hi guys, welcome to this lesson where we are still looking at cubic functions. Here's another question from a past paper, modified. I've added a few questions just to make sure that I cover all the concepts that I want you to know. Okay, so you can capture it, you copy it, okay. Ignore this part that is wrapped here, just go for the last part, which is 2.6. The question is here. Okay, after the table, here are the questions that follow. Find the value of k there. Okay, so if you can write it down before we start looking at it. Look at these equations, there are a lot of them because I want you to have everything. Then here we have one for the gradient, and the other one for area. So I hope you have the question. Now let's start. So here is the question. Okay. Question is here. Okay. So now, the first question is calculate the value of k. So what are we supposed to do to find the value of k? We are using the same equation that is given here. What is the value of, what is the y coordinate when x is equals to 2? Okay, that's the question there. So we are going to say, since k is the y coordinate, so I'm going to say k is equals to what? I'll write this whole equation here. Plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. Okay, so we are told that x coordinate is equals to 2. Okay, so I need to replace here where I have x, I need to put 2. So I'm going to say 2, 3 plus 3, 2 squared minus 2 minus 3. So this gives me 8. Then this here gives me 12 minus, I'll simplify this one here as 5. Okay, so what do I get from this side? Here I'm going to get 20 minus 20 minus 5, I'm getting k is equals to 15. K is equals to 15. Are we together? So let's take note there. Okay, so k is equals to 15. Okay, so now this point here where we have k, this has been given as 15. So this is going to be 2,15. So I can come back to my question and I'm going to write the answers that my answer here, which is for A, I'll write it as in k is equals to 15. That is my answer. K is equals to 15. So now I'll come back to the table. What is the question now? The question is taking 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit on the x-axis. 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit on the x-axis. So the 2 centimeters is, so 2 centimeters to represent, this box here, it's 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters to represent what? 1 unit on the horizontal axis, which is the x-axis. Okay, then the coordinates must run from -4 up to +3. That is for the x-axis. And then 2 centimeters to represent 10 units on the y-axis from -20 up to 30. Then we are supposed to draw this graph. Okay, so we are using these same coordinates. So let's go. This is our graph here. So I'm supposed to take note. You need to see how you are supposed to divide your graph paper so that you don't run out of space. So on the x-axis, I'm supposed to make sure that I have -4 up to negative. Each of these units representing, each of these 2 centimeters must represent 1 unit. So I must take note of that. because if I put it here, if my line is going to be at this side, I have less than 3 lines. Okay, so I need to make sure that I bring, for instance, I bring it here. This is my y axis. Okay, then for the x axis, I'm also going to look at the I'm also going to look at this. Each 2 centimeter must represent what? 10 units. So what this means is that, for instance, this is the end of our graph paper. So if I can put the line here, I still know that since below on the negatives, I'll just need -20, -10, and -20. So this space is enough. Okay, so I must take note of that. So it's fine. I can bring it here. Okay, I can bring it here. Oh, sorry. Tangent. I'm using a pen so that it's clearer, but you can use a pencil, which is better for erasing. Okay, so this is my x-axis, then this is my y-axis. Okay, are we together? So we can begin to plot now. So this is the y-coordinate, x-coordinate, or x-coordinate, y-coordinate, I mean. So we can begin. So -4, -15. So we can put our coordinates. This is 2 centimeters. That is supposed to represent 1 unit. 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit. So we have -3, and we're supposed to go up to -4 as guided by the question. We have 1, 2, and 3 as guided by the question. So we are supposed to, this is the limit. Then this side we are given that we're supposed to -10, -20. Then going up, supposed to have 10, 20, and 30. So this is 2 centimeters. This box, it's 2 centimeters. If they say 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter is half of this box. If they say 4 centimeters should represent 1 unit, it means 4 centimeter, it will start from here. So we're going to say 1, 2, you get my point? 4 centimeters, you need to put these together because this is 2 centimeters. So if they say take 4 centimeters to represent 1 unit, so it will be 4. You will start from here, 1, 2, it goes on like that. So take note of that. So now after this, we need now to plot the coordinates here. The first one is what? -4, -15. -4 is here. Then 15, where do we have 15? This is 10 here. So we need to count now. From 10 here, we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is where we have that point. And the next one is -3, 0. -3, 0, it will still be right here. The y coordinate is 0 here on the x-axis. And the next one is what? -2, 3. -2 is here, as you can see. So these units here, since this is 10, we just need to take each one of them as a 1. So we have 1, 2, 3. Well, this is our 3 here. Okay. Then what do we have? We have -1, 0, -1, 0 again to be at this point. Then we have 0, -3. 0, -3. This is our 0 here. So it will be 1, 2, 3. The point will be here. When we go to 1, -0. This is now positive 1, 0. We are there. Then 15, k. 15, k, what is our k? Our k, we got 15. So it is going to be 2, 15, which we got. 2 comma 15, I'm going to 2 comma 15. 2 comma 15, take note. Our 10, this is our 10, so we can say 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is the point. Then what do we have here? We have, look at this, we have 2.6 comma 28. 2.6 comma 28. So I'll come to 28. Where do I have 28? This is my 20. Okay, this is my 20. My 20 is here. So 28 I need to count, which will be this one. Okay, now this is supposed to be, this is 2 here. Okay, this is 2. So where do we have 2.6? So we need to count these. Okay, so it's better I count it from somewhere here. So this is 28 here, isn't it? This is 28. So I'm going to say 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. So 2.6 is here. So that is where that point is supposed to be. Then after we have done that, okay, we need now to join these points nicely. We need to join these points with using a graph, a smooth one. Okay, I hope I will not make a mistake to avoid, a pen you can't erase. So please, let's do it together. You should be using a pencil. You should be using a pencil. Okay, you should be using a pencil. No, this is coming here now on 1, coming on 1, because that is the next point. Then it's supposed to pass through this point here, then supposed to go down from this point. We're supposed also to go to 1. From 1 now we are going up to this point. This is how we are supposed to do it. Are we together? This is how we are supposed to do it. Just for doing this in the exam, you get 3 marks. The value of K, you get 1 mark. Okay, so we can continue now to look at our question. Okay, so our next question is, we have done this one. Okay, we are done. We have also drawn the curve, so we are coming to the equations. Now, let me say this. This type of this equation, I covered this one in the first presentation, so you can check it out there. Or maybe let me just take you through. Okay. Some of them I already did, but let's run them through so I'll be faster. Because these questions are not supposed to be like this in the exam. There are too many here. So I just brought like all the aspects that are expected. Okay. So the first one, what does this mean? When you look at the original equation, what has happened here? The position where we have y, it has been taken by 0. So it's like we are saying y is equals to 0. So we need to have to find this equation. Where do we have y is equals to 0? So we go to our graph. Y is equals to 0 where? Y is equals to 0 along the x-axis. So it's like this is the equation that we can call y is equals to 0. So where do these two equations meet? And also take note that this one is what? This is what we call y is equals to x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. So where do these two equations meet? This point, this one, and this one. So we are going to say now, this is B. We can say refer to the graph, which is this one that we drew. So C, take note, C has got A. So A, we need now these coordinates. The coordinates where these 3, okay, these points where it meets. We have this equation that I called y is equals to 0 and this graph. So we are using the graph. So we are going to say x is equals to -3, and x is equals to -1, and x is equals to 1. These points, this one, and this one, where they meet. So let me go to the next equation. The next equation is which one? This one. So look at it. Look at it. The only thing is that the whole equation here has been written as it is. So we are saying, what are we saying here? Like y is equals to 15. So we go along the y-axis. Where do we have 15? We go back to our graph. Go back to our graph. Where's our 15? Our 15, you count here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our 15 because we are counting from 10. So this is our 15. Okay, this is our 15 here. So I can draw this line here. So this is our 15. So I can call this equation our y is equals to 15 here. Okay, this, so where does this line meet the graph? Okay, this line meets the graph just at one point. So we'll get the x coordinate here. Take note, it's just at one point. So we'll just get, where do they meet? It's just at one point here. So what is the x coordinate here? The x coordinate is what? Is 15. In fact, this thing is one of those coordinates, if you remember. This thing is one of those coordinates. So I'm just trying to demonstrate a point. Okay, it's 15. I just wanted to, if you have such a case, that is straightforward. But in an event where you are given a coordinate which is not one of these, okay, so the coordinate here is going to be 15. Oh, no, the x coordinate, we're writing the x coordinate. The x coordinate is what? Is 2 at this point where the two equations meet. Okay, in this case we had it here. Now if they gave you 9, which is not one of these coordinates, you are doing the same thing. Okay, so we go to the next question. Please pay attention. What is the next question? Now I want you to see the difference between C or B and C. What have you seen? Now take note. This -3 is not here. -3 is not here. So what are we supposed to do in that case? You are not just going to say y is equals to 5. That would be wrong because you've seen we no longer have -3. -3 is no longer this side. So it means this has been tampered with. So in other words, it's like we are saying -3 came this side. So what are we supposed to do? So in this case, what I advise, and the easier way, you just say y is equals to, you get this one, which you have here. What do you have? You have got 5, the number that is here. Then you add it to that same one that is no longer there. What do we have? You've got this is the one that is no longer there is -3. So when you add these, what do you get? You get, what are we getting? We are getting 2. We are getting 2. Are we together? So we are going to solve for this equation, this one. It will be at this point. It will be at this point. Are we together? Yes. Because if we have 2 here, if here I put 2 here, when you bring this -3 the other side, it will give us 5. Okay, so this is what you're supposed to do. So I'll go on y is equals to 2. Then I'll get there. So we are coming back to our y is equals to 2. Where do we have that case? Y along the y-axis. So this is 0, then this is 1, then this is 2. So this is 2. Have you seen? So we need to draw another line here. Okay, on 2. I hope you are following me. On 2. This is our 2 here. This is our 2. So we draw a straight line again that joins these two on 2. So that is the equation. And what are we calling this equation? We can call it here, say y is equals to what? To 2, which is that one. So what are we going to do here? We want the coordinates where this line meets the graph. So where are those coordinates? We have this point here. I hope you're following me. We also have this point here. And we have the third point here. So we need to get these points now. What are they? I can start with this one. This is going to be, what is this point here? The x coordinate is what we are getting. The x coordinate. What is the x coordinate here? It is 1.2. So this is what? This is C. This is C here. So I'm going to say the x coordinate is what? The x coordinate is, one of them is 1.2. Then the second one is this one. So we have -1 here, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So -1.4. X is equals to negative, please, this is -1 here, 0.4. And then the last one, it's this point here. This is -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have -2, -2, -2.6, -2.6. Okay, so we are rushing. We're going to the last one, or to the second last on the part of equations. Okay, so what have you seen here? We're looking at this one. The whole equation here has been written as it is from the original question, but the position of y has been taken by what? The position of y. What do we have? What we have is y, where there was y. What do we have now? We have 10 over 3 x minus, so this is that equation that we have there. So the only thing that we're supposed to do in this case, we need to draw this equation on the graph paper. We need to draw this equation on the graph paper. So how do we draw such equations? We come up with a table of coordinates. I always say 2 are enough. So here we need to examine which ones will not give us decimal numbers. I want to avoid decimal numbers. Okay, so I want to avoid decimal numbers. So here, if we can put -2, okay. So here, if we can put -2, if we put -2 here, what are we going to get? Let's try that. You see, so we are going to get y is equals to 10 over 3. If we put -2 where there is x here, where am I getting -2? I'm talking about this -2 here. Okay, I'm talking about this -2 here. Okay, so I'm going to have -1. So what am I going to get here? I'll get 10 over 3 multiplied by -3. That will give me -3 there. So this and this will cancel, have a minus. So this is going to give me -2 will give me -10. Is that clear? So then the other one, which will give me a whole number here, is 4. Now, unfortunately, we do not have 4 this side. Okay? But we can estimate. Okay? In an event, we can estimate, and it will give us the direction of the 4. We know that 4 is going to be here, isn't it? Yes. So I'm just trying to avoid whole numbers. So if we put 4 here, again, we're going back here. If we are saying we put 4, we have y is equals to 10 over 3, 4 minus 1. Okay, then we have 10 over 3 minus 3. Okay, what do we have? This and that cancel. So we have 4 will give us 10. So when we put 4 here, 4 is going to give us 10. But pardon me, what I was saying was that 4 is not one of these coordinates that are given. And the reason I'm avoiding to use these coordinates is that I'm going to get a what? A decimal number and I don't have a calculator. But even if you try 3 there, you still get something that will be falling on the same line. So we are saying 4 is equals to what? 4 is 4 comma 10. So there will be this point here, 4 comma 10. Then the other point we said it will be negative 2 comma 10. Negative 2 comma negative 10, it will be this point. So what we are supposed to do, we need to join these 2 points now. We need to join these 2 points. Are we together? We join these 2 points and see. This point and that one. You join them using a ruler. Okay, where's that point? I hope you are seeing what I'm doing. This one and this one here. Okay. So now, after I've drawn this straight line, now I'm supposed to get the coordinates on where. So this is what we are going to call this equation. We'll call it y is equals to what? 10 over 3 open brackets x minus 1. Okay, so now where do these two meet? Because this is equals to y. The first one is given as, okay, this is equals to y here, and then the other one is also equals to y. So you know that y is equals to y. So what are we supposed to do? So that's what we are looking at now. So what we are supposed to do here, we are going to get the coordinates on these 2 points where these 2 graphs meet. I mean, the 2 lines, the graph and this line meet. So the x coordinate here, they are meeting at this point. So the first one, the x coordinate here is 0, and then the second one, the x coordinate is what? Is 1. Okay, that's where they're meeting. So I'm going to get back to this, and this is what? Our D. So our D, we have x is equals to, what is the x coordinate here? The x coordinate is 0 at this point. So it's 0, or x coordinate is equals to 1. Then E, I've just put as a lot of them here because I have to explain just the point. But in the exam, they'll bring 1 or 2. So you just need to know what we have done on each and every one of them. So here, this whole equation has been equated to x. So what are we saying here? What we are saying is that x is equals to y. X is equals to y. X is equals to y. This is what we are working with. So x is equals to y. What does that mean? X is equals to y. So we have x and y here. So if x is equals to negative 4, if x or y is equals to negative 4, x is equals to y is the same as y is equals to x. So what this means is that these coordinates, they have got the same, this point, they've got the same what? Coordinates. If this is equals to 4, even the negative 4, even this one will be equals to negative 4. If this one is equals to 3, even this one will be equals to 3. This is the equation that we are talking about. This is the equation that we are talking about. So I'll come back to my graph here. Negative 4, comma negative 4. Where do I have negative 4? I'm counting down. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my negative 4 here. Then also this side I'm going to have 3, 3. My 3 is here. So I have 1, 2, 3. My 3 is here. Sorry. I'm bringing out a diagram that is dated, simply because I want to explain a lot of concept on one graph. So I'll draw this straight line also that connects those 2 points. Are you seeing what I'm doing? I'll draw a straight line that connects these 2 points, this point, as well as, you remember the points that we're talking about, this and this one. So I need to draw a straight line that connects these 2 places. Okay, so this is the line, as you can see. This line here, this line here, this one. So this line is the line that gives us the equation that we are calling y is equals to x. Y is equals to x, this line here. So again, we do the same thing. We get the x coordinate on the points where these do meet. Like I did apologize that here I've brought in a lot of questions on one graph paper, so even the diagrams or the graph is looking dirty, but just get the concept. So like I did explain that in the exam they'll just bring like 1 or 2 of these. So here we are looking at the x coordinate where at this point. What is the x coordinate? This is -3, so it's -3.123. So we have x is equal to -3.3. That's one of the coordinates. Then we have the other one, will have x. Then the last one is going to have x is equal to what? And the other one, it's at this point, somewhere here. Okay? You've seen where they are meeting. This is where they meet. So here we need what? We're coming from 0, remember? So this is going to be 0.8, 0.9, somewhere there. So we can say -0.8 at this point. Then the last point, please pay attention. The last point is this one. This one here, where they meet. It's the last point. Have you seen it? This one here, the last point. Okay, so what is it? This is 1.1. This is 1.1. Okay, this is 1.1 here. So I'm going to say 1.1. I'm done with these questions that have to do with equations, and your solutions are here. I hope you have time to go through it. You do the question on your own. Okay, do the question on your own. So let's move on to the other questions. Like I told you that even this part, I've done these questions somewhere. I've done this question in the first presentation, and this one I did all these questions. So I'm trying just to be to go through them again. So I'll be a bit faster. So the gradient in this presentation, I'll just look at one method. In the other presentation, I looked at 2 methods. So here I'll use differentiation. So we need to differentiate. We need to find the differentiation or the derivative of this function. We need to find the derivative of this. Okay? So you need to know how to do the derivative. So that's what I'm going to look at now. So the y, it's like y is equals to what? Y is equals to plus 3 minus x minus 3. Okay, so we need to find the derivative of this one, dy dx. What is it? This will be 3x squared plus 3x minus 1. A constant gives us 0. You need to know how do we find the derivative. You can check on this. Okay, so in the derivative here, okay, in the derivative here, we can work out that, or maybe possibly that work has to be, all that I'm doing, you can show it on the graph paper. Okay, you can show it on the graph paper somewhere where you have space, even somewhere here you can show it. Okay, I think it's clear on a plain paper for me. Then The question says, after in that derivative dy dx, now where there is x, you slot in this x coordinate here. Okay, you slot in this x coordinate here, the x coordinate. Okay, the x coordinate here is given as what? -3. So I'll go back here. This I'll put negative what? -3. 3, -3 here squared, plus 3, I'll put my -3 here, minus, so this one will give me +9. This one is going to give me +9. Okay, so, and then when I multiply +9 by 3, I'll get 27. Now take note that this one is a -3 here. This is a -3, so it will give us -9 minus 1. And when you work out this one, it's going to give us what? When you simplify this one, it's going to give us +17. +17. So this question it has D, it's D1. So I'll come here where we're writing answers and say D, Roman numeral 1, what did I get? Gradient, which is m, or dy dx. Gradient is equals to what? 17. Okay, like I said, that work, you can show it on the graph paper. So I'm going to the last part now. How do we calculate the area of this? The area bounded by this region. The area bounded by this region. X is equals to 0. X is equals to 0 here. Where do we have x is equals to 0? X is equals to 0 along the y-axis. Then the second one, y is equals to 0. Y is equals to 0. Y is equals to 0 where? Y is equals to 0 along the x-axis. Then the last one is y is equals to 20. Y is equals to 20. It's this. Y is equals to 20 here. So we need to find the area that is bounded by this. Y is equals to 20, x is equals to 0, and y is equals to 0. So, which area are we talking about? This area is what we are talking about. This area is what we are talking about, this area. This area is what we are talking about up to here. This area is what we are talking about here. This area. That's the area that is bounded by the region that I've told us. Okay, this area here. What are we supposed to do? So, just like I mentioned, that this area here, if you look at it, if you look at this area, I can pick, it has got two parts. I can get this part here. I can get this part here. Are we together? I get this part that I'm looking at as a triangle, as a rectangle here. As a rectangle. Then I find the area of this rectangle. Then this one, I'll take it as a what? As a triangle here. I'll take this one as a triangle. Are we together? So the rectangle, the way I'm going to deal with it, I know that to find the area of a rectangle, it's L multiplied by B. So this side, do we have here? Here we have 1. Then this side we have 20. So you multiply 1 multiplied by 20. So for this rectangle here, the area is what? It's 20. Then I said this one, I'm going to treat it as a triangle. I'm going to treat this one as a triangle. So the area of a triangle is 1. It's a half multiplied by BH. B is the base. In this case, what is the base? The base, you need to calculate it nicely. So you count from here. This is 1. So then here you have 1.1, 1.2. So you get it like 1.2. So the base is going to be like 1.2. So I'm going to have 1. Then the base is 1.2. Then what is the height? Take note, the height is this one. From this point up to this one. Okay, from this point up to that. That's the height. If you do want, you can like flip it. Okay, you are going to have the triangle like this. That's how it's going to be. So the height now is what? 20. From this point up to this is 20. So you can work out 20 into, it's going to give us multiplied by 10. Okay, it's going to give us multiplied by 10. 2 into 20 it's 10. Then when you multiply this, what do you get? You get 12. So this 12 is the area of the triangle. 12 is the area of the triangle. So to find the area of the entire shaded region, we need to add it to this. So I'm going to say this one now. I have added it. So the area of both area is equals to 32 centimeters squared. 32 centimeters squared. This is what I've done, and this is what I thought we could do together. But don't worry, in the exam it won't be this congested in terms of questions. The questions will be limited, like you are going to see from the questions that I'm going to give you. So I'll give you like a lot of questions just to show you what is expected of you in the exam. Okay, just to show you what is expected of you in the exam. So wait and see the questions that I'm going to give you. So please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Give us the comments on how best you think we can provide a service. Okay, thank you so much. So let me give you questions that I want you to do. Okay, so here is the first question, which I did because I wanted it's from the examination past paper, but I modified it. I added some questions just to make sure that everything is there. So get the question. Okay. Okay. Here's another one. Here is another one. I have presented everything here. Okay. Okay. Here is another question that you are supposed to do. Here's another one. Another one. So this is just how to show you that sometimes they will bring something that is already done, then the questions will come like that. So like this one, as you can see, everything was already done. Then they would ask you to say, using this, okay, now answer these questions. So this is, sometimes it can come like this. So for this one, you find like your answers using this graph that is already done here. Okay, there are such questions. They also come in this manner. Even this one, it came also in the same manner. Okay, so you see, then after that, they'll ask you to find this question. So you're going to use this same graph paper that is already shown here with the graph and the information that is given there. So as you can see here, everything was already done. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Make sure don't forget to subscribe to this channel. All right, once again, thank you.